Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fast Lane Pod. I'm Temi, and with me is Olawunmi, your host.
Hi, everyone.
For the podcast. Hi. I sent Olawunmi a message today, like, we need to record. I'm so upset. We're here.
What's upsetting you?
Welcome back. What is upsetting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you guys seen the news? I'm recovering from the Brazilian GP, right? As a Ferrari fan, we need a couple of days to recover. Only for me to see different headlines. And the first one I saw was a quote from, I don't know if it was an interview. I'm not sure, but it was a quote from Ferrari CEO. And I'll read it. Yes, I'll read it. He said, drivers should concentrate on driving and talk less. That was the headline. I later read, a larger clip. And he was basically saying how the engineers are doing their job. They've produced a better car. This person has done this, but the drivers essentially are not delivering on track. So, before I say my views, I don't know. Let's hear from you, Olawunmi. What do you think about that? The drivers are not delivering on track. And that seems to be Ferrari's issue.
Stupid statement. I when I read it, I was as alarmed as you. It popped up on my Reddit feed, and I was quite alarmed. And I thought, why would anybody say this? Then I thought, oh, it's John Elkann. So when you understand where John Elkann is coming from, John Elkann is his grandson of Adrian Newey, the guy that started the Ferrari group. He's not a car guy. So he owns a portfolio of assets, including Fiat, Chrysler, Juventus. And, yes, he's brought the company a lot of prosperity. But he still, I don't think he truly understands. Look, it's actually a stupid thing to say because Ferrari is chaotic. They are chaotic. And they've been chaotic for a long time. For as long as I can remember in F1, Ferrari have been a chaotic team. Like whether it was fighting Nigel Mansell, whatever it was, they've always been a chaotic team. And the purple patch for Ferrari was when they recruited Ross Brawn and Michael Schumacher and co. And they built this amazing team, and they had 8 solid years in which they delivered the World Championship to Michael 5 times. But since that time, what have they really done? They've had a few world champions in the car. They've had Fernando Alonso in the car. They've had Sebastian Vettel in the car. They've had Kimi Räikkönen in the car. So between those guys, like 7 world championships, right? In the car. But apart from that, what have they delivered? Consistently to Michael, after Michael's era, to Vettel. Vettel left the team frustrated, right? So did Alonso. Look, Kimi is the Iceman. Kimi doesn't really get fazed by things, but really and truly, Ferrari don't have a leg to stand on. They have no leg to stand on, really. I don't see where John is coming from with that statement. You're saying, so they have a fast car, but how far have they delivered that car all season? They have a fast car.
Do they
what
really
about strategy? The car is fast in some circuits. It has potential.
Yeah,
the car has potential, but they've not delivered on that potential.
It has potential, right? But it's an okay car, right? It's an okay car. I think the best way to rate the car is really looking at the current Drivers' Championship, which is the current Constructors' Cup, which is 4th, right? Yeah. I think now they're 4th.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way to look at the car because that's the real place of Ferrari. I think 2nd wasn't accurate, and that was the drivers doing everything they can to maximize the car. But I think this 4th position that we're seeing post Brazil or Sao Paulo GP. I think that's really what the car is. Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. And, I'm shocked, but I'm also a bit frustrated because I'm thinking, if this man thinks that they have delivered a good car, I'm afraid about what's going to happen next year. Because I thought previously that, they knew there was issues with the car and they had just decided to, stop putting their energy in this car and focus on the next season. But if you're telling me that they think that they have a good car now, then for me, it's like we have no hope next season. Because it means they don't even know what it takes to deliver on a good car. And yeah. And it's a shame because I feel like the drivers. Sorry, what did you say?
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
It's a shame.
But you were saying some of the drivers now.
Yeah, because when I read that post, and then there was, and I'm sure the backstory to this, there was the other guy that came out. I hadn't heard of him before, but I think his name was what's his name? Gino Rosato. And he came out and he goes, I quote, "When you have two drivers that are babied full-time and have access on a daily basis to the big boss, what can middle management do apart from trying to survive and feeding their egos? Trust me."
What? I didn't even read that.
Yeah, that was below the belt for me. I apparently this guy was he's like a Felipe Massa's guy, apparently. I don't know. I hadn't heard of him previously, but that comment, it then, for me, so, okay, even if you wanted to say, John Elkann doesn't know what he's talking about and he's generally, a controversial person and whatever, ignore his comments. But this is another person from within Ferrari coming up with a statement like this within the same day or two, right? So it just shows the division within Ferrari. It shows, for me, the hate and the lack of respect to the drivers that are driving this car. And, I hear commentary all the time that at the end of the day, even within Ferrari, they don't want Hamilton to win. And now, for me, this kind of proves it, right? Because for me, I just feel like these guys are out on the track by themselves. Like, no one has their back.
You raise a lot of valid points. I read about this Gino Rosato briefly now, and I'm not. Like I was saying earlier, John Elkann is not a racer. I don't think you'd hear a Ron Dennis, or Christian Horner, or Tito Wolff say a thing like that would produce a best shut up and drive. It's basically saying shut up and drive. It's very rude.
Yeah, very rude.
And I agree. Look, Ferrari is not the top three right now. On current form, the Mercedes is faster than the Ferrari for sure. There's no doubt that the McLaren is faster. So the only thing is does Max Verstappen represent the true pace of the Red Bull? Or is he outperforming the car? But when you look at how similar or how consistent Lewis and Charles are this season, how I agree that it looks like they're trying to drag that car up the grid. You can clearly see that Lewis is struggling with the car. Lewis is not a bad driver. I feel like something's happening in their development. Like they're not able to give the drivers exactly what they need. And that the car is fast at certain circuits, but it's not. You're right. It's not all around the fastest car. When you see two drivers, when you see Kimi Antonelli, who is he's come very good recently, and he's right up there with George. You can clearly see that the car is performing, but Lewis, the car is not there. But to me, beyond the car is actually the strategy.
The
It's not
strategy.
just the car.
Exactly.
It's also the strategic calls. You know,
Yeah.
how this weekend Lewis failed to go into Q3 twice,
Yeah.
both for the
And
sprint
one
qualifying
because he
and the
didn't
main
even
race.
make it to the line, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't because he wasn't fast enough. He didn't make it to the line. He wasn't able to get another lap in.
Yeah. So what exactly is going on with you guys calling the strategy? What is going on? You know, it was a very bad look.
Yeah.
But again, John Elkann is not a racer. He's not. He's a businessman. He's an industrialist. It's not. I don't think the great Enzo Ferrari would have made a statement like that. Enzo was through and through a racer. Enzo said, "We build road cars to finance the race team."
Yeah.
And that was the ethos of Ferrari.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, right? I know he's not a racer, right? But it doesn't change what he's done. It doesn't change what he's revealed to the world, to the drivers themselves. They probably already knew it, right? I feel like he's sown the bad seed, and the seed was probably already there, right? But it's now blossomed with that comment. And now we can all see that there is a divide within Ferrari.
I think Charles is gone. I already heard that Charles was seen around the Aston Martin team over the summer.
Really?
I think Charles is gone. Yeah, I think Charles is gone.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to make a bold call now and say I think Lance Stroll will probably leave at the end of this season.
Ooh.
Because if Aston Martin want to win the constructors title championship, they have to have the strongest team possible. They have to have two drivers who are capable of scoring points. If they're going to keep Alonso, then there's no reason why they wouldn't sign, say, a Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
So you have a strong pairing. But I'll go back to Ferrari for a second. Ferrari are definitely on the Formula. Yeah.
Before you move on from that point, that makes that the reason. At first, I was shocked, right? But I also heard a rumor, and I mean, they say it's a rumor, but I've been hearing that Lance Stroll wants to leave Aston Martin. I think he wants to just leave F1. They've been saying like he's not happy, and I think a lot of it is maybe his dad, obviously. But I've been hearing that he wants to leave F1, and so if he truly is feeling the way he's feeling, then it does open up very easily a slot for Charles.
Yep.
And you said, is Aston Martin the one that's been taken over by what's the guys that are coming in next year?
Is it Chevrolet? No, Aston Martin is continues to be owned by.
It's still going to be.
So
Aston
Audi's
Martin.
Taking over Sauber. Yeah,
That's Sauber. Audi. Okay, that's
and the Chevy
Audi.
team is coming in fresh. They're coming in a whole new team. Aston Martin are determined. Lawrence Stroll wants to win the constructors title, from what I understand. And the only way he's going to do that is if you have two cars scoring points consistently. I mean, look at Ferrari, for example. Charles has scored a lot more points than Lewis has. Arguably, if Lewis and Charles were scoring at the same level, they'd have the second place wrapped up by now. Because what Mercedes have now is two drivers scoring good points consistently. And that's how they've been able to overhaul Ferrari in the constructors side.
I don't agree. Can we challenge that a bit, right? So let's do a bit of math. So you say Leclerc has scored a lot more points than Hamilton, but currently he has 66 points more than Hamilton, right? They are both Charles is fifth, Hamilton is sixth in the champions whatever, right? Yeah.
Drivers
now drivers champion. Now Russell is fourth. And in between him, you have the two Ferrari drivers, and then you have Antonelli, who is seventh. Now,
how many points behind is he?
In between. Now, in between them, there are there's 154 points in between them. So when you say that they are both, Antonelli is just behind Russell and they are both scoring points, that's actually not correct.
No,
it means
so I was referring to the last few races where
but not overall, right?
not overall. But so what I said was, I said at the moment, what you have now at the moment is two drivers scoring consistently for Mercedes. And when you look at the last 4 races or so.
But that's what you have for Ferrari. It seems like you're trying to compare. That's why I'm trying to get the comparison. Generally, you always have Leclerc and Hamilton scoring points, much more so than Mercedes. So I'm just trying to understand.
So you have George is on 276 points. So you're right, 154 points between Kimi and so Russell has scored the bulk of the points. But when you look at the last 2 race weekends, okay, Ferrari didn't score anything at all this past weekend. And I think since the summer break, Antonelli's done better. So but the point I'm trying to make is that to win the title race, the team championship, you require 2 drivers scoring consistently.
Yeah.
And so you do have a point that, in fact, if you look at it this way, if Kimi was scoring as consistently as Lewis, so Lewis is the second driver in Ferrari. If Kimi was scoring as consistently as Lewis was, Mercedes will have the second place wrapped up pretty tight. Yeah,
right? Agreed. Yeah.
So it still comes back to that thing. So you have look at Ferrari. Ferrari on 362 points. They're a good 36 points or so behind Mercedes. Russell has scored the bulk of Mercedes points. But again, if Kimi was scoring more consistently, you would have second place pretty much wrapped up. So it goes back to my point that you need 2 drivers scoring consistently. And it goes back to why I think Aston Martin would do best to get rid of Lance.
Agreed.
Because if you look at Fernando's points.
I was just about to say that. I said, I don't want Charles to jump from frying pan into fire. Because if we look at, I'm trying to look for Alonso's points. He's not top 10.
Alonso is on 40 points. 40. Alonso is 40. He's 12th in the championship. And you know the 12th. Amazing thing is that 12th. And Stroll is actually only 8 points behind Alonso.
Okay.
So but both drivers have had a bad season. But there's something you must remember. In 2026, there is a rules reset.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if Ferrari are going to be able to bust the new rules. But something else you must remember. The great Adrian Newey is now the technical director for Aston Martin. You have the greatest engineer in F1 history now designing the next Aston Martin.
Good point.
If you're Charles Leclerc, who do you bet on to nail the new rules? Given that when the last time there was a rules reset, Mercedes went from being the dominant team to being nowhere. And Red Bull, who were being designed by Adrian Newey, completely bust the new rules and won 3 back-to-back titles while Mercedes struggled. But they actually won 4 back-to-back titles. It meant that Adrian Newey delivered 4 titles back-to-back to Red Bull. The last time he did that, he delivered 4 back-to-back titles to Sebastian Vettel. So if you're going to bet on someone, if you had to bet on someone, would you bet on Ferrari today, or would you bet on Lance Stroll? Sorry, on Aston Martin and Adrian Newey? If I had to bet, I would bet on Aston Martin. I'd bet on Adrian Newey to get the rules right. And they have Aston Martin they're switching to the Honda power plant, right? So they're going to become effectively a works team. The only risk there is, will Honda get the new regulations right.
Yeah.
But Honda just powered Red Bull to 4 titles back to back. So Honda and Adrian Newey combined to deliver 4 back-to-back titles to Red Bull. Wouldn't you back them to do it again, as opposed to Ferrari?
I don't think at this point anyone would back Ferrari, right? Whether
Exactly.
it then means, yeah, but my point is whether it then means I'm going to back Aston Martin. I think that's a different thing entirely. If they were the only 2 ships sailing, of course I would back Aston Martin, but they're not, right? There are other people in the mix. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments, please. What do you think? Is Charles better off at Aston Martin 2026? Or should he just stay put with Ferrari? The devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. What do you think? I'm a bit worried now for Hamilton. Or maybe he can follow Charles. Oh my gosh. Alonso will never forgive him. In fact, the forgiveness he has not forgiven him will just increase. Okay. I think we're out of time. Olawunmi, any final words?
No, I'm fine. Thank you very much for watching us, and please leave us a comment. Please share this video. Give us a like, give us a comment, and let us know what you think about John Elkann's statements. Do you think Ferrari are screwed up? Do you think it was the right thing to say to those drivers? Do you think John Elkann was fair? Was he unkind? Was he unfair? Was he harsh? What do you think was the right thing to do? What do you think is the way forward? Do you think Charles Leclerc should leave Ferrari and go to Aston Martin? If not Aston Martin, where do you think we should go next? Please leave us a comment. We are the fastlanepod@gmail.com. We are the Fastlane Pod on Instagram. We're the Fastlane Pod on Twitter X. Thank you very much for watching us.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Thank you.